Podcasting since 2005. This is the King of Podcasts radio network. kingofpodcasts.com.
An agent of callous corporate change, or an angel of mental healing.
Woo! Hey, this is the Nature Boy Rick Flip, and believe it or not, whether you like it or don't like it, learn to love it, because you have to listen to Wrestling is Real. It is the best thing going today. Woo!
The worldwide leader of podcasting excellence. The King of Podcasts radio network proudly presents The Wrestling is Real podcast, because wrestling needs us.
This is episode 958 of the Wrestling is Real podcast. King of Podcasts here with you. Welcome you to the program. And as I record tonight, of course, this Wednesday night, I normally record usually sometime after 10 o'clock on Wednesday nights to put it out on Thursday morning, early Thursday morning. And so today, point of mind right now has been the story that's been out in the news that has reached all through social media, the internet, all across the country, the political assassination of Charlie Kirk. Look, I try my very best to never bring politics into any of my programming. I am completely apolitical. And politically, I'm independent. But for anybody that's out here, there is, the side of people that on social media, you just have a particular feeling of being a keyboard warrior, of not really worrying about being responsible or accountable or worrying about consequences of what you say and what you think and how you react, especially online. And one of the things was that regardless of what people think about what that young man, 31 years old, who was gunned down today in cold blood in front of 3,000 of his followers, fans, supporters of his cause, for someone to go into that venue, open air, take that man's life, leaving behind a beautiful wife and two beautiful daughters, and a future ahead of him, who knows what he could have been. He could have had political aspirations in terms of being a leader. Could have tried to run for president someday. And a lot of people looked up to him, and a lot of people said good about him. Yeah, man of faith, good God-fearing Christian man. He had his beliefs, but he was willing to debate. He was willing to talk to anybody. Those are the kind of qualities I can appreciate in somebody. So why did he deserve to die? Why did he deserve to go ahead and be taken away like that? And why is it there are people so callous, heinous, and cruel on social media and the internet, they're willing to celebrate and find glee in this man's passing because his political opinion was different than yours? I want to tie this into wrestling because I feel like with wrestling, it's like you have a political opinion, and wrestling fans also have their way of deciding to go ahead and chastise somebody else's other political opinion or their other opinion on wrestling. Okay, that if you're not ride or die WWE, then there's something wrong, or you just have to be bullied to the point that the company also likes to go ahead and subscribe to that same kind of behavior, that same kind of mentality. I'm just saying, for those that can actually control this and be good to each other, I really hope that people just take this point and just say, you know what you put out here on social media, what you put on the internet, what you put on podcasting, streaming, whatever, let's have a little bit of candor. Let's have a little bit of mercy, a little bit of respect for those that can live their life the way they want. I'm not here to go ahead and change anybody else's mind and make any changes here. I'm here to go ahead and offer an opinion on wrestling on this particular program. And on my other programs, I don't talk politics. I have a few people to talk about politics with when I want to talk about it, and that's it. But today, this deserves something because I know a lot of people are going to be feeling this way about this, about what they're going to have their take on it. And I'm just saying that whatever kind of rhetoric or narratives that people put out there, it can be dangerous and it can hurt people's lives, and people's lives can be taken as a result of it. So I just hope that everybody out there just realizes, man, be better to each other. There are some people that just don't deserve to be unalive. It's just, there's no reason. There's absolutely, there are no, honestly, anybody that's innocent or just speaking their mind, okay? When they haven't done anything wrong to anybody else, undeserved, unacceptable, uncalled for. That's all I have to say about that. I couldn't get started on this podcast without saying something about it. It's been on my mind all day. I've been watching the news coverage about it. I'm online enough to know who he is and what he's done and what he's all about. And listen, I can understand a lot of people that disagree, and that's fine. But man, it's another thing just to go ahead and stomp on somebody's grave, and in the fashion this happened too. That's just evil, pure evil. But anyways. So tonight's program, I'm going to talk about the fact of there are two different areas of manipulation going on in the WWE, okay? You have Triple H and his team and what they're doing right now, setting up for WrestlePalooza coming up in a week and a half to compete against AEW All Out and some of the chess moves that were made. We talked about that last week. And there's been a lot going on in the world of WWE that has been quite disturbing, quite concerning, because there are major changes going on behind the scenes. Meanwhile, AJ Lee's return has been the focus of the entire product. I mean, it just has been. No one else has been really excited about anything else but the return of AJ Lee for this match at WrestlePalooza. It's overshadowing John Cena, Brock Lesnar. It's overshadowing everything else. And the storyline, there's not much to it. But we're hearing a lot of things that, of how the storyline is being used and what's being done in the storyline that just feels off. But what are you going to do? I mean, this company's making a lot of changes, and you're starting to see that of all the bravado that this company has to bully around a company like AEW, they have their own weaknesses. They have their own flaws. And there's a bunch of them pointing out right now, today, as we speak. Now, I covered the AJ Lee return on SmackDown Friday night into Saturday, because I didn't go to the movies. And I had nothing else to do, and I was like, I'll do a comment about it. So I took some time, and I did some commentary. Wrestling is Real Extra. You can find that right now on the website, kingofpodcasts.com. You can get all my take on that. Now we're going to move ahead on that and talk about her appearance on Raw and the setup for the match to be held at WrestlePalooza. Now 4 matches have been confirmed. AEW All Out. They're moving on with their own thing of what they're going to be doing going forward. And, it's a different taste for certain people that, if you're, again, in the juvenile delusional fandom of WWE, then, well, okay, fine. That's where you're going to be. And that's how you're going to feel about it. But it's like, you are following this company and supporting everything they're doing in a way that tells me, okay, you're fans of the product, you're fans just like the fans in the arena every week that are selling out the shows. But we're not seeing them selling out every time, because that's not going to start changing a little bit. WrestlePalooza itself has not sold out yet. 10 days away as I record. They still got a couple thousand seats left to sell. And this is as of last check on WrestleTix. Today, they still have a little under 2,000 tickets left to sell in Indianapolis. And the fact is that we already had the announcement of AJ Lee, CM Punk versus Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch. That's already been announced. Cena and Lesnar has already been announced. And that has not been sold out yet. And then there's some of the things that you got to ask about, like, what are they doing with their talent? And so, especially the main event talent. To close out NXT last night, because they're setting up for their homecoming show, going back to Full Sail University, having a segment where Fatal Influence is going to have to deal with returning to NXT for the time being, Stephanie Vaquer, Tiffany Stratton and Rhea Ripley to take on Fatal Influence for the CW show. The show that's getting 650,000 viewers on average on the CW regularly. So they have to try to keep a certain level, a quota of audience there. As for SmackDown, which when you had John Cena appearing on the show last week, 1.1 million viewers, this week 1.585 million viewers on SmackDown. Okay, so they got a boost. Sold out Rosemont, Chicago, Illinois for the show. Up 38% from last week. Up 18% for the 4-week average of 1.348 million viewers. Meanwhile, the show is roughly 29% lower than this time last year when it was on Fox. So it got a bump in ratings for that. For the pop. Meanwhile, we're looking at what's being done with Monday Night Raw. It's not even going to try to go up against Monday Night Football. The plan is now, as of next week, Raw's moving to 7 p.m. Eastern. They want to try to stay clear as much as they can of Monday Night Football. So if you're trying to get them a little bit an hour early, so you don't have to go and deal with that audience that will probably drop in for Monday Night Football roughly around 8:25, 8:26, 8:28 p.m. Eastern, and then catch that. At least you're going to catch, part of the audience is going to be there. And, you know, they're not going to necessarily switch over from Netflix to watch football. They'll think, well, any WWE viewers will probably stick around and try to watch Raw at 7 p.m. and then stay and watch the show and then not mind to miss the first quarter of Monday Night Football. Some thought like that. So there's that one thing that's coming up right now. And the company has quite a bit of criticism, among other things. But let me tell you like this as well. There are people that were really, really super excited about AJ Lee returning. The Twitch streamers were all crazy for it. I'm going to play a little bit back of what we were hearing so far of people going crazy over AJ Lee returning.
Oh my God! Yes! 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 Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!
Guys, that's too loud.
Shut the fuck up! Yeah! Hey! Hey! Shut the fuck up! No fucking way! Oh God!
Yeah. Those are the sounds of the fandom that the WWE believes is their audience. That's their ride or die. That's the audience they're going to be playing for to get the pops, to get them to go and buy tickets for everything and everything going on. And you know what? Okay, they got them. But man, there are certain things that are doing right now. The talent might be, the audience in the arenas might be happy somewhat. And then also the same thing goes for what's going on with the people that might be watching that are podcasters, streamers, and all that are also getting excited along with their audience. Fanboy and fangirling out to these stars on a regular basis. I bet I could find some other streamers out there live when they watched Rhea Ripley, Tiffany Stratton, and Stephanie Vaquer make their way onto NXT. And again, this is what they like to go and do. Here's another one of these moments they decided to do this week. This is what they live off of. This is what you watch WWE for now more than anything. Here we go. Another clip.
Oh, what the hell?
Same thing. It's all this stuff. This is what WWE is all about. This is everything they basically stand for now. Now, there are a lot of comments out there about what people thought about AJ Lee's return. We'll play a little bit of that as well. First of all, let's go ahead and play up what AJ Lee actually said on her way out there. So let's go ahead and talk about that real quick. Here's what she said, because there's some things to go ahead and point out from what she's talked about.
I retired. I said I was sorry. Oh my God. I felt like I had accomplished all of my dreams in wrestling. And I was content, and I hung up my Chuck Taylors, and I thought that was the end of my story. There was no way I was going to step back in a ring again wearing jean shorts that are 2 sizes too small. I was so sure. And so I went on a journey to accomplish all these other crazy dreams I had in life, and I did it. But most importantly, I went on a mental health journey. I wasn't healthy. I needed to take care of myself, get right. I went... I went to therapy. I got treatment. Therapy! Yeah! Cheer for therapy!
She goes on to say that I found a way to turn all this mental chaos into a superpower. The fight is not easy. Every day is a fight, but let me tell you, if you're going through the same thing, the fight is worth it. You're worth it. And I'm wondering how many people really knew about her story coming out of leaving WWE and coming back. I didn't know that story because, you know what, it wasn't a story. I came across through the news headlines throughout, but it was never anything I brought up on this program because, it's like, okay, good for her that she found her way back. But yes, back in 2021, she opened up about what happened to her on Maurice Bernard's State of Mind YouTube channel, and that said that she attempted suicide back in 2014. She was still with the company, and the experience led her to become the mental health advocate that she is today. She said that, and she was promoting a book that she had put out about her story at that point. And she says, I was on TV and I'm a champion, dream career, got married, perfect, wonderful year. But a lot of times with bipolar disorder, because she was born with it, and also her mother also, I think, suffered from it as well. Big life changes kind of throw you off, and you with the high, you're going to hit a little low. Talking about that, she was really sick. I was scared. I was going to have to have multiple surgeries. And so all this stuff is happening. Then I got hurt in the ring. Then my husband got sued, and it was just all of a sudden that I know, there was stuff in my family. And so in the same year, career's great and everything's going great. And I have my husband, but my bipolar disorder didn't handle it. Couldn't handle it. It was too much for me. I wasn't taking care of myself the way I should have been. I wasn't in therapy consistently. I was playing fast and loose with my medication because I was being really vain and because I gained weight when I'm on my medication. And so I was like, she goes on and talks more. And I never knew the whole story about what happened to her, but she did call suicide prevention, got the help she needed. Someone that was very patient and kind to her, talked to her to help her not do anything drastic to take her own life. And now, again, being the advocate that she is, that's great stuff. Maurice Bernard played Sonny Corinthos on General Hospital. Yeah. He probably saw her and probably thought it was Brenda from that show. If you're an old fan of General Hospital, you know what I'm talking about. This is just my age speaking for me. Either which way, to use the story about her mental health advocacy as a way of putting this in the storyline felt, I don't know if it was the right setting for it. I mean, the crowd was all into it. They ate it up. But, from wrestling's point of view, I don't know if it was really much that was going to be that took a lot to this anyway, but either which way, fine. And the company was more than happy to be supportive of her during this. Says, in this house we cheer for therapy. WWE had put that out there when they put out a story on it. So I don't know. But there's been a lot of things that were kind of overshadowing what happened here with AJ Lee and her setup. So she's the agent for mental healing. And listen, there's probably some fans right now in the juvenile delusional fandom that probably could hear her words, heed her advice, and seek therapy. Listen, I'll tell you, I have gone to therapy twice. And I'm saying multiple times I had to go see therapists. I had 2 different ones. One I was with for 6 months. Another one I went for a couple of appointments. And trust me, it does work. It helps. My Portrayed the Debaucherous series, I focus on that pretty extensively. I've talked about that before. So if you want to go and find out my story on that, go listen to that series, of course, on kingofpodcasts.com. Anyway, but there's other things being said about certain stars and why are we... But the direction of the show and the main event storyline. Meanwhile, CM Punk Seth Rollins now is taking a back seat because of Becky Lynch and AJ Lee. It's where we're at right now. But the CM Punk Seth Rollins storyline, we're not really going to that. We're going to use AJ Lee as a buffer into this, with Becky Lynch being joined with the Vision, and that's the plan of this. And who knows how far I go with this, but that's their planned storyline. Meanwhile, Bloodline, the MFT, nowhere to be found. Jacob Fatu, nowhere to be found. LA Knight, who was in Clash in Paris in the Fatal 4-Way. And Kevin Nash makes some comments about what happened with LA Knight. Just his thoughts. I normally don't go ahead and follow along with what Kevin Nash says, but I saw this pop up on my X feed, so I'll play it real quick. From his Click This podcast, he made some points about LA Knight, and maybe he should have done something to break the monotony at Clash in Paris.
Would it have hurt the fucking the absolute programming if LA Knight would have fucking went over?
Would it have hurt the programming? I mean,
the booking. I mean, like, he worked his ass off. He fucking. I mean, he had some great shine. Like, he does it. You can always. I remember when Lex was fucking red hot. Mm-hmm. And we fucking went in and we just told Eric, we said, like, we were at Auburn Hills and nobody was supposed to beat Hogan until Sting. Mm-hmm. And it was just like Lex was red fucking hot. It was time. Like, we couldn't fucking wait. So we fucking talked him into fucking putting the belts on Lex for a short little run to fucking just to break the monotony.
And it would have been unpredictable.
And you wouldn't have had a fuck finish that you have every fucking week.
I've been watching on my TikTok feed, somebody was putting out there all the WCW World Heavyweight title finishes. And I do remember where there was a point in the middle of the NWO that Lex Luger beat Hulk Hogan. And it was before the point that Sting would win the world title, I believe, at Starrcade. Or one of those times where Hulk Hogan or Sting flipped the belts on each other. But yeah, just to break things up, it didn't really make a difference to have somebody just hold on to the belt for a certain amount of time. Because at the moment, it's not like the company has really been very cherishing of title holders. After Roman Reigns, Cody got a year with the belt. And so far, you had Cena with the belt for so many months, and then flips back over to Cody. And Cody's not even been around. Like, we're hearing he's going to be back at WrestlePalooza, according to Triple H. He said on the Pat McAfee show. Then there's talk about AJ Styles, because he did apparently a pipe bomb on SmackDown, which has been overshadowed by AJ Lee, but here's what he said.
Dominic Mysterio got his little buddy, that coffee bean Americano, to get involved in my match and cost me the Intercontinental Championship. And to be honest with you, it could have been my fault. You see, for the first time in my career, I've got no one watching my back. Gallows, Anderson, they're not here.
Yeah.
Meechin, she's on SmackDown. It's like someone orchestrated a way for me not to win anymore. Not to have help. I'll let you make your own conclusions. By the way, we are here right now and all over the world, but the rest of everybody isn't a commercial break. I'm telling you something that you're probably not supposed to hear, but somebody doesn't want me here.
And of course, there's been talk about AJ Styles' contract going up, and I don't think I've seen anything where it says that he is re-signed. I don't know if that's actually come up yet or not, but yeah, I mean, for whatever reason, the fact that he's still not being used, especially in certain points that maybe there's certain talent that could be used for developmental purposes to help get some other people over, but he's not. I mean, Dominic Mysterio, I don't know if he necessarily needs with AJ Styles, I think what they did together was really good, but they could keep that going, and for whatever reason, they're not. I don't know. AJ Styles' son also spoke out on Instagram, making the point about this. Styles putting on an image of an hourglass with his logo slipping through it. His son, AJ, responded to comments suggesting that Triple H was disrespecting Styles with his booking, and it upset him. He says, "You ain't the only one, man." And the comment has since been deleted. So we don't know what's going on there. And again, that was a comment and a promo that was being done when Netflix was in commercial. So only premium subscribers, if they got a chance to watch it, probably got to see that happen live. Only the people in the arena as well. And also the same to be said about certain stars they have had in WWE and what they didn't do. And this is not just while they were in the company and Vince McMahon was still there. Same thing can go with the fact of when Triple H was somewhat in control over there and what they could have done, because Triple H could have had some say while at NXT, moving up to that main roster and being influential on that main roster. Tony Storm talking to MVP, excuse me. And I forget who else he's with on the Marking Out podcast, talking about her work in WWE and what she didn't get to do.
Well, here's the thing this is where I get stuck on it. In the WWE, I don't think I was told what to do enough. I wasn't told to do anything, actually. I wasn't told, obviously you're told what to do in a certain, in a certain circumstance, but overall, I don't feel like I was told what to do enough.
So you felt like you weren't given enough direction?
Yeah. There's direction in things like, this is how you do it, this is what you do, this is what you do on television, this is cameras. But then, as in regards to a character, no, I was never they would write promos, but I was just kind of, just did it. I wasn't really told, do this, today you're a cat, and this is your character, and your name's bloody Tory bloody Smith. No one had told me anything, and I kept my name the whole time. And it was like I had complete creative freedom, to be honest. I saw where others didn't, and others were given things, and I wish they would. I would have done anything, to be honest. That's the weird thing about this. If they had just given me some mad off-the-wall thing, I would have just 100% gone with it.
4 years ago, she left the company. Swerve Strickland around the same time, also leaving the company. And look at what happened. With AEW, they are shining examples. They are at the top of their game, both of them right now. You can agree to disagree with that. That's okay. And for some people, they think that AJ's going to be getting out of WWE and they're going to put him over in TNA for a while and do some things, because obviously he did go visit TNA during Slammiversary. Okay. And maybe there's something to be set up for Bound for Glory, some kind of special surprise appearance. Who knows what they're going to do? So anyway, the WrestlePalooza card we got coming up Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch versus CM Punk, AJ Lee, Io Sky versus Stephanie Vaquer for the women's world title, but yet Stephanie Vaquer was on NXT, setting up for NXT Homecoming, but yet we're expecting her to go and be on for the world title match at WrestlePalooza. Usos versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, and John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. That's the 4 matches set for the card. Viewership number for WWE Raw on Monday night, 2.4 million viewers, down from 2.6 million viewers. More commentary from others feeling about how they did with WWE and where they decided to go anyway. For certain stars that said, hey, what about Josh Alexander before he decided to go and join the AEW? He spoke with Justin Barrasso. He says, you know what? If you believe what you read online, I just went with the highest bidder. The truth is that the money, schedule, and things like that didn't play into my decision. As much as looking at the pool of talent I wanted to work with. There's a specific reason I signed where I did. I chose AEW because I want to be here. That's Josh Alexander quoted. Now let's move along into Triple H on the Pat McAfee show. That was on Tuesday. He was on with him live. Accompanying Tyrese Halliburton to promote WrestlePalooza coming up next week. And here's some comments from Triple H when it comes to WrestlePalooza coming together and potentially becoming part of the regular yearly calendar.
Did you guys think about WrestleFest?
How did we land on that? There was a lot of thought, but it was in a brief period of time, so we sort of were under the gun of, you mentioned we come here, coming here for Indy. As soon as we heard that Indy was on the table, like they got the date open, we were in. This place is phenomenal, so that was a no-brainer for us.
I mean, you didn't have anything scheduled. You had Clash in Paris already set up, and nothing was actually scheduled in September, but yet, for whatever reason, that all-out weekend in Toronto, we could do something there. I mean, there wasn't any real reason to go and do that. You already had 2 shows in August. So to take a little bit of time away from September to build things up for, I don't know, Bad Blood or for Survivor Series, no. We're going to put WrestlePalooza in, no for any particular reason, but we know why they did it. More from Triple H.
But we moved quick on this whole thing. The whole thing came together very, very quickly. ESPN asked for the date. They wanted a mega event. We said yes. We just had to pick a name and go. So,
But you could say that, Triple H. But ESPN, yeah, you could go and make the argument, oh, this was being scheduled just in time for the ESPN direct-to-consumer app was released and launched, which is now up and going. Okay. But that doesn't explain how you were able to get your deal with Peacock out of the way and how things were maneuvered so that Peacock will no longer be carrying pay-per-views and automatically for the next 3 months, ESPN just gets to go in right away. Now, I don't have an explanation for that. It's as if we're supposed to just shove that under the rug. No, that's too important. Don't ask about that. That's not important. More Triple H on Pat McAfee.
WrestlePalooza, shout out to ECW, I believe.
Yeah. Shout out to ECW. Lollapalooza was a big thing, but now we're going to take that title.
Oh, WrestlePalooza is about to be a thing?
I think it will be, probably, depending on how this one goes. We'll see.
Oh, I like a WrestlePalooza shirt. I like the name.
Okay, and the thing is, it's an ECW trademark that they already owned because they attained that. And they decided not to make an NXT show because of the fact that NXT's stuff is not effective enough against AEW. So now we're going to put the main roster up there. At the start of the year was a completely unplanned date for a show, but here we are, quickly put together. I mean, for them, they only do like 5 matches per pay-per-view now on these B shows, so there you go. But on purpose, putting it here. And as I said earlier, they have not sold this show out yet. Under 2,000 viewers. Now, more content about the deal with ESPN. Triple H is commenting about that.
King of Kings, Triple H.
Yeah, true. What's going on, guys? Good to see you.
Great to see you. Congratulations on the WWE and ESPN deal. Obviously,
it's exciting.
The WWE network was ahead of its time, started with subscribers. Then we sell the WWE network, I believe, to Peacock first, and then to the evolution of your guys' digital service and subscription service and pay-per-view model has been trailblazing, I think, for the entire entertainment world. And now teaming up with ESPN, it feels like it makes sense. Whenever this was presented to you as an option or an idea, what were your immediate thoughts?
Well, the first time it was said to me, like, hey, ESPN is in the mix here, and I was like, oh my God, that could be a game changer for us. Just the fact, like, who does promotion of big events better than ESPN, right? Like college game day, everything that surrounds big events for them.
Quit shilling, Hunter. Quit shilling. Yeah, I mean, we can talk about boxing that does a really good job. I mean, look at Jake Paul and the boxing matches he has out there. You know, commanding what $80 to $90 per ticket. And before Canelo Alvarez put his boxing match coming up with Terrence Crawford over on Netflix, could command $79.95, something like that, the Zone, something like that. I mean, there are places you can go to continue to amplify the content. I mean, versus Peacock versus ESPN, I see that point. But, you know, I mean, to kind of put that out there and say that, I'm a little bit miffed by that part. And Hunter saying all this, it's almost as if he was completely out of the whole conversation of this. He's not involved in these conversations. He's not aware of these negotiations. He's probably told something about it afterwards. But he's not in the know about this. By the way, he missed Monday Night Raw to be on the Kill Tony podcast. I don't know if Vince would be going to do something like that, for something like that. Just saying. So he's shilling for ESPN. Has to speak, well of it. And Pat McAfee obviously is an ally. And obviously he's getting paid very handsomely by ESPN. So he has no problem putting over WWE because of also being working there as well. So yeah, there's that. And then there's a comment that really got people miffed because of the comments about the WWE Unreal docuseries on Netflix.
Getting hit on the shins is what you're saying, it sounds like.
Yeah, to a degree. But my point being that sometimes, it's funny that like the internet is all complaining that we're lifting the curtain and showing you stuff. Meanwhile, they're doing a podcast that all it does is talk about the behind the scenes shit that's going on. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't understand that logic, right? Like, the world knows an 8-year-old kid picks up his iPhone, Googles stuff, and it tells them all the behind the scenes stuff, right?
Right. So it's telling you that, they're not paying attention to the podcasters, the streamers and out there, that are amplifying WWE to a certain audience. They'll care about the audience that's actually catching on to all this that are completely outside of the know. And in a way, I mean, that's not too bad of an idea to go and go after a younger audience that's not really in the know and kind of just, you can string along like puppets all the other people that have been longtime fans of the product. And then if you go for the lowest common denominator and the youngest common denominator, then maybe you'll get an audience that will continue to be growing and be a part of this, but also to a much more inferior product than we're used to being a part of. Because when you ask yourself, if you watch anything with the Attitude Era, look at the storylines, look at the characters, look at what we had. The history of the company looks nothing like that now. It's a shell of its former self. And of course, Vince is not there. And Triple H is not going to do what Vince did. Nothing like that at all. He doesn't care. So that particular comment really ruffles some feathers as well to a lot of people. Then there's comments that were made this week by Bryan Danielson, who has been with AEW for a while now, a couple of years, right? And he spoke with John Bernard Caruso is a comedian that also has his own setup, and the BK show. The JBK show, excuse me. There we go. So he talks with this show, and he gives his take on counter-programming measures by WWE against AEW. Quote, I think of it and I wonder, right? Like, I'm just curious what the people who are making these decisions, what they're thinking. In the sense of this, this AEW thing, it's real dangerous for our billion-dollar business. That can't be it. The one thing I think is that AEW existing and being this challenger brand and being as successful as we've been has changed the landscape for the wrestlers themselves. But we're still the challenger brand, catching up on however many years WWE has had. He's absolutely right. That's exactly the way to think about this. How is it that WWE is so concerned in their billion-dollar business by some billionaire that is playing Booker, according to them. And why are they worried about the hype that's going on with the juvenile delusional fandom, which is on both sides, by the way, of WWE and AEW fans, that will amplify their vocal minorities to pump up their brands? And he makes another good point. It's interesting because we're not at the point of being a threat. It's one of the things where people who really crave power and a lot of money play those weird games that I don't understand. It's like, okay, we're going to run all the competitors that might be competitive with us out of this business. Why? It's good for the wrestlers, both in AEW, WWE, right? It's been good for them. Like, okay, if AEW wouldn't have started, would Cody Rhodes be where he is right now? No. They have a megastar because AEW exists. Would CM Punk ever have come back? Probably not. He's right on both counts. You don't get this AJ Lee return without CM Punk deciding to go back to the company, because he wasn't going to go back to the WWE right away. But he did go to AEW first. Can't take that away. You can't dismiss that part of his career. Coming back to AEW, getting his mojo back in wrestling, only for him to get a hero's welcome coming back to the WWE in the first place. He goes on to say that the people in the Fed, the people that I know, a lot of people I know are great people. So I'll be interested to know what the decision-making process in this is. But, it's not my monkey. It's not my circus. Whatever the line is for that, you know what I mean. But he makes a lot of good points right there. And he goes on to say more. Oh, I forgot to go and make mention of MJF and Alicia too getting married. Congratulations to them. The wedding pictures are really cool. It's unfortunate that somebody actually decided to go ahead and leak those out. That wasn't so cool, but either which way. He was asked about taking over Ring of Honor, if that would interest in him. But he says that he doesn't have interest in that. Tony has interest in that. Tony, he says he thinks does a really great job of juggling all these plates. He does a really pretty great job with it. I'm always open to doing whatever the company needs, so yeah, I would love to do that. Right now, he's doing commentary for Dynamite on a more permanent basis. He says Ring of Honor, I think, is a really cool product, especially for a younger talent to be able to get them exposure. I don't know if you watched the latest pay-per-view. It was incredible. He goes on about the talent, and then he says, when you see the talent you got to work with, everybody's perspective is a little different. Everybody has their little bit of difference. Where you see something and be like, oh, okay, I would do something a little bit different here. But I wouldn't say that my version of it would be any better than Tony Khan's version. I'm not here angling for a job to take over Ring of Honor. And then also being asked about what AEW does for the wrestlers. He says that AEW pays 40 to 50% of the revenue to the wrestlers, and process forcing WWE to also increase pay for the wrestlers. Quote, AEW existing and being this challenger brand and being successful as we've been has changed the landscape for wrestling, for the wrestlers themselves. Wrestlers being paid more than ever from a sports rights perspective. So, for example, in most major sports, U.S., players get anywhere between 40 to 50% of the revenue. WWE was paying their wrestlers nowhere close to that. Now, keep in mind, they're still not paying anywhere close to that, but they do have to pay more, because if they don't, talent's going to leave and go to AEW. AEW does pay that 40 to 50% revenue for the wrestlers, despite making much less money. How can you look down on AEW when they are taking care of the wrestlers? You might not like the way they're booked, okay? You might not like the way the Young Bucks are booked, or how Edge and Christian are being booked, or Cage and Christian, Cope and Christian. You might not like how FTR is being booked. You might not like how Daniel Garcia is being booked, and all these other people, Death Riders. I got it. You could disagree with the booking, but they're booking, and they're doing storylines and doing characters, and I like that. I like it a lot. So I'm happy about that. That's the kind of wrestling I want to watch, because that's how wrestling has been for most of my lifetime. It's just what it is. Meanwhile, Bruce Pritchard talks with Cody Rhodes on something to talk about. And he talks about, character development, the creative process. And here's what Bruce Pritchard says, who, of course, has been in the creative process going back to Vince's days, and now has a pretty integral role in the company right now, probably still doing some executive producing kind of work. Well, Triple H is out of the way. When he goes to kill Tony, someone like him's in charge. So here's what we got.
Pitching stories and pitching creative. You have got to become the character that you are pitching. If we were pitching something for Paul Bearer, I had to do, oh, yes, and then I had Undertaker's mama. You have to become the character, and you have to tell the story as if. And you have to believe, you have to become. And And that's how I tell stories just in general. The beauty of being in creative and being on the other side of it is I have the opportunity. I get to be everybody. I get to be Cody Rhodes.
I love that outlook.
I get to be Cody.
Yeah.
At the same time, I get to be John Cena.
Yeah.
I get to be Roman Reigns. I get to be Gunther.
Yeah.
So on this side of it, you have the opportunity to be all of the characters.
Yeah, but the problem is that there are characters that are being watered down or being eliminated and taking away all the characters that were built and all the dimensions of the characters as well. Rhea Ripley has gone through a transformation right now. The leather, the chains, my brutality, that's been stripped away from her. It's like Alberto Del Rio level, stripping away of the character that she created. Why? Why? And, I don't know if it's really made much for her at all. If it's made her much better in the process. But people are starting to realize a little more altogether that something is not all correct right now. Yeah, WWE right now is in a euphoria right now. They are at a level of like nothing could go wrong. They're impenetrable. They are successful no matter what they do. Jimmy Van at 5hole.com says, some may not agree with this take. I've always believed that one of AEW's problems is that Tony Khan has too much on his plate aside from booking. And now I feel the same way about Triple H. He's always doing appearances. Meanwhile, the quality of the WWE shows has diminished. Triple H is not in charge. And he realizes, I think he enjoys being the person that's just kind of like involved in here, and that's it. I think he likes it. So let's go through some of the other things that are going on under Triple H's watch that, and honestly for the fans, that they don't realize changes are coming and that the success of this company is for the benefit of the corporate side of TKO Group Holdings. But the fans, are they going to benefit from it? Not just from the main roster product of WWE, but what about the other ancillary projects they're working on as well, that they own or that they're partnered with? So TNA Bound for Glory is coming up. This is going to be in Lowell, Massachusetts, Boston University's arena there, October the 12th. So it's coming up in a month. We have 4 matches scheduled right now. TNA Knockouts World Championship will have Ash by Elegance or Masha Slamovich, depending on who wins, in a come-up world title match, versus Indy Hartwell. Hardys versus Team 3D for the TNA World Tag Team titles. Trick Williams is still TNA World Heavyweight Champion, going up against Mike Santana. And a 10-person hardcore war with the System taking on Order 4. That's what we got so far. And we'll see if there's anything else that comes up when it comes to how TNA is allowed to be booked under the authority of NXT/WWE, okay? Now, keep in mind that any of the NXT stars that have been on TNA programming, they're not losing at all. But when you look at the build-up for Bound for Glory coming up, so much of it has been involved in NXT television. Remember, Trick Williams won the World Heavyweight title from Joe Henry at NXT Battleground, not on a TNA pay-per-view. And Trick Williams has won in subsequent matches after that, including Slammiversary, beating both Joe Henry and Mike Santana in a 3-way match. And then you had Santana appearing at NXT August 19th, which caused Trick Williams to lose in a non-title match to Javon Evans. And then Santana would take on for the NXT Championship at NXT Heatwave. So Santana and Williams have been at each other on their respective shows. And they also have not had Williams defending the belt every month, because there have been times where he's been 2 months without defending the title. Now, the fact is, they did have a thing where JC Jane won the NXT. She defended the NXT Women's Championship and also the Knockouts Championship in a winner-take-all match at Slammiversary. But J.C. Jane did not lose the NXT Knockouts title, the TNA Knockouts title at a TNA show. She lost it at NXT Heatwave last month. Just saying. Where is the benefit for TNA out of all this? Because we're not seeing the NXT stars winning on TNA television, or if they are, they're winning on TNA television, but never losing. So the TNA stars are never getting over on anybody on these shows. Make that clear too. But that's what's happening as well. But now for Bound for Glory, they're not worrying about that because the Knockouts World title essentially is being now handled by 3 TNA stars. So that's out of the way there. But Trick Williams, do you expect Trick Williams to go and drop the belt at Bound for Glory? No. I doubt it. I really doubt it. So I don't know what they're going to do, but I mean, Mike Santana, they keep looking at possibly being the world champion. And remember, people got upset that he did not win at Slammiversary. They thought he was going to be the guy. Well, I guess not. I don't know if he's going to be set up to be that guy yet either. But then again, I haven't watched much of TNA programming anyway. It just hasn't been there for me. I just, some of the setup for some of the matches they have and what they've been doing. I'm a little bit miffed by the fact of seeing so much NXT-ification of that product that it's not TNA doing TNA. But hey, man, if all this means they get their big broadcast deal that they get to announce at Bound for Glory, good on them. But they're willing to allow their programming be butchered by NXT and WWE because they can. Because deal with the devil. They had to go and do something. How about AAA? We are hearing more about their creative structure. Conan is actually speaking about that. Spoke with Denise Salcedo of Busted Open crew. And it says for more than 10 years in AAA, he did almost everything himself between 2010 and 2020. Barely missed a TV taping. Usually produced, agented, and wrote the finish for every match. He recently skipped a show in Monterrey. If he had gone, he would have only been given one match to agent, and that would have been with Undertaker and Jimmy Borash. Now, every match has his own agents, taking a lot of work off his plate. He says he feels good about this because the people handling things are very skilled. He believes WWE system is the best in the world. Interesting. But it's also interesting that Conan never really worked that long for WWE in the first place. Just think about that. He really wasn't there that long, but respects the system nevertheless. Much stronger than AEW and would always keep them ahead. He says they're top-notch guys who know what they're doing. If they were dumbasses, I would probably be mad. There's nothing worse than that, but bro, they know what they're doing. That's why they're the most popular, most profitable for a reason. And you've gone behind and you've seen that machine. The magnitude and the professionalism is nobody, I've been at AEW, and I'm not trying to bury them, bro. But let me tell you this, Denise. If WWE wasn't around, they'd still be number 2. Anyways, I don't even know why he's saying that, but okay, fine. Also praising Jimmy Borash for his knowledge of Lucha Libre and working time together in Crash. Undertaker knowing a lot because he knows what makes fans react, what can get a wrestler over, and how to create strong finishes. And he says that, he comments about how much Triple H has changed since WWE took over. Says that now Jimmy Borash and Undertaker help with booking, so it's not all in one person anymore. Less pressure on him and proof that the WWE system is the most professional and effective in wrestling today. But the thing is that you're going to see, and he says there wasn't going to be any changes, but, there are already some things where there's some picking and choosing what stars and what gimmicks they're going to hold on to and what others are going to change around. Because right now, AAA is going to be doing another show coming out right now, When Worlds Collide. Worlds Collide Las Vegas. That's going to be coming up September 12th. So that's coming up this weekend. And the features of the stars are going to have there will be from Raw, SmackDown, and NXT brand divisions. So They're calling it a super card, and it'll be live streamed on YouTube. Current matches on the card, you have El Hijo de Vikingo versus Dominic Mysterio for the AAA Mega Championship. Pagano Psycho Clown versus New Day for the AAA World Tag Team Championships. Watch out for this, folks. You have WWE stars all vying for all major championships in AAA. So there's when Worlds Collide in Las Vegas, there's also when WWE takes over championships. So I'm just telling you right now, we'll keep an eye on this show. I'm going to probably do a little post show for this after everything else is going on. It's coming up this Friday, but just keep this in mind, okay? Dominic Mysterio could very well be mega champion by this going on. And you know what? I'm going to start booking it right now. I'm going to guess there's going to be some titles here that are going to get changed. Okay? So, I expect Dominic Mysterio to become mega champion at this show in Vegas. I can see New Day becoming World Tag Team Champions of AAA. Fabio Apache versus Natalya is a singles match for the number one contendership for the AAA Reina de Reinas Championship. Currently being held by Flamer, who's held it right now for 756 plus days so far. Judgment Day's Finn Balor and Roxanne Perez versus Lola Vice and Mr. Iguana in a mixed tag team match. AAA Latin American Championship on the line. El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. taking on Dragon Lee, Ethan Page, and Jenny McDonough. You got 3 NXT stars right there. They could give that. And I'm going to take Ethan Page winning that title. And then there'll be a Lucha Showcase 8-man tag team match. La Parca, Mascarita Sagrada, Nino Hamburguesa, Octagon Jr. versus Latino World Orders, Cruz del Toro, Joaquin Wild, Lisa Dorado, and Mini Abismo Negro. Yeah. Just saying, there could be a lot of NXT or WWE stars that will get over on this AAA show. And you see who they also have in here that they decided to go and put out. You know? El Hijo de Vikingo, Psycho Clown Pagano, Fabio Apache, Mr. Iguana, El Hijo de Dr. Wagner, and then some of the other stars in the Lucha Showcase. And that's it. There's a lot of NXT. But again, this is a supercard, so they didn't call it a AAA show, but still, the fact that there could be quite a few things that will change in the lexicon of AAA after the show's done. And it could very well happen. Keep an eye on that. We'll talk about that. See if I do a post show about this coming up with the program. At the same time, I think on Friday night, I'm going to be watching Demon Slayer, the new Demon Slayer anime at the theater. So we'll talk about that. Mark Shapiro, the TKO president and COO, spoke at the Goldman Sachs Communicopia and Technology Conference. Speaking about WrestlePalooza, he says that hopefully WrestlePalooza is a winner and we can bring that back annually. That could be a marketing bonanza for us if we do that right. Triple H is spending night and day creatively around making what that it could be, which is another WrestleMania or another SummerSlam. Those two stand out above the rest. Royal Rumble is right beneath that, and we think WrestlePalooza could get right into that quadrant. So all of a sudden, this is a show they're going to go ahead and put out there and make it bigger than anything. And put it up there in the level of the other pay-per-views out there. But yet, we're still haven't sold the show out yet with four matches already announced. Just saying. I mean, they're going to probably sell it out, I know, but it's kind of peculiar about that. More from Mark Shapiro. He states that Vince McMahon was primarily pricing tickets for families, wasn't focused on maximizing the opportunity to decrease said prices like TKO is focused on doing. He said the quiet part out loud. He goes on to also say that WWE is not where the UFC is yet on ticket yields. We have our work to do there, but we've seen a meaningful increase as evidenced by the 59% margin second quarter. Well, that's counting WrestleMania and Money in the Bank and some of the other European shows they had. Yeah. They're making some real record gates out there. Don't get me wrong. They're making a lot of money out there. Second quarter includes SummerSlam as well, right? No, actually, that'll be third quarter. But either which way, a lot happening right now when it comes to WWE, and the fact that another big thing quietly said out loud, that WWE is not making enough money as an intellectual property for TKO. Not where the UFC is yet on ticket yields. So Vince McMahon might have priced things down. The advertising might have been priced down. You know, But TKO is trying to go ahead and just, they don't worry about the quality of the product. TKO is not worried about what Triple H is doing. They're leaving it up to Triple H to go ahead and figure it out. Pretty much what they're saying. Okay, Triple H, you're in charge. Go figure it out. Meanwhile, we don't care what you're going to make. We're going to go ahead and price like crazy this product and charge as much as we can. Because ticket yields and site fees play a big part in driving that. We know we have more room to grow. Why do we know that? Because UFC is breaking records everywhere they go. Oh, so WWE is not the darling right now in TKO Group Holdings, which is why they are bloodthirsty for money and blood-sucking fans of every dollar possible. Every dollar possible. If you looked at what they're doing right now in terms of the money being made, let's talk about this real quick because this is also pretty interesting as well. WrestleTix does a great job of always showing the pricing now of the tickets for the shows. So, for instance, I was just looking at tickets right now for AEW Dynamite coming to Hard Rock Live for the 6th anniversary show of Dynamite. And I saw tickets at like $35, $45. And there's like, 5,000 seats in that arena there? You know, it's all concert seating. It's not that bad. I think a second row, you're getting up there for $30, $40. And I'd probably go to that if I find somebody else to go with. Meanwhile, WrestleTix, they're going through, and if you look at the price of these shows, WrestlePalooza right now, this was earlier today that WrestleTix put out here, at WrestleTix on X. Just under 1,900 tickets available right now for Indianapolis and Indiana. And as I said, you still have the Indiana-Illinois game coming up on September the 20th, and also other college football going up against ESPN, whatever they're doing. And at the moment, I don't think they've even announced yet what they're going to be doing yet with college football and what they're going to have particularly for that weekend. I don't know what it is yet. We still don't have start times yet for the prime time games coming up. We don't know that yet. But we know that Miami and Florida is still set to be played that weekend. South Carolina, Missouri is also scheduled that weekend. They can all be night games. They have not been announced with start times yet. The kickoffs has not been announced yet. AEW is not going to have to deal with any of that, except for what? Michigan and Nebraska? That's the only game that's going to be really, or Auburn, Oklahoma, I guess. But those are the two games that they're not going to build such a big audience. Illinois, Indiana is a 7:30 start time. That has been announced. Illinois, Indiana is in Bloomington, Indiana, an hour southeast of Indianapolis. That game is prime time. So people in Indiana, they're going to try to be opting to go to that game, which is sold out, by the way. It's been sold out for months. Just down the street. And WrestlePalooza is not sold out yet. Just saying. The tickets right now available. Standard admission is available. Cheapest ticket right now is $192. I wouldn't pay for that. I don't think there's anything I would pay. Maybe a Miami Heat game to watch a team. But, I mean, that's a lot of money to ask for. And we're talking about seats that are not near the ring. $192, you're talking about bleachers. It's not even close. You're up upper deck. Friday Night SmackDown coming up this weekend. On Friday, cheapest ticket for a SmackDown show, $71. Wild. Monday Night Raw coming up to Dallas, Texas. One of their first shows they're going to be doing one of their early shows they're going to be doing at 7 p.m. $89 cheapest ticket right now. And you're talking about tickets that are way up there in the top. Cheapest ticket available. All bleacher seats, $89. And as I was saying, I was just looking at tickets right now for AEW and their 6th anniversary show for Dynamite at Hard Rock Live. And I'm like, you are crazy. I'm looking once again, October 1st, Hard Rock Live in Hollywood, about an hour down the street from me. And I'm looking, there are tickets available at $36 right now. In the second section, above the club level, to be in. It's not a bad spot to watch. And all those seats look pretty good. It's all concert seating right now. Up to $152 for the best seats. It's wild. I'm baffled by that. Now, here's the biggest story we haven't talked about yet. And this honestly needs its own story as well. But you know, we're going to focus a little more about this when I do the post show for Worlds Collide Las Vegas this weekend. Several stories coming out now and confirming a press release that came out from Saudi Arabia. PW Insider obtained the fact that there was a press release in Arabic issued before it was planned to go out and pulled shortly afterwards as a result. WrestleMania 43 is reportedly set to be held in Saudi Arabia. The WrestleMania experience will not even be here in North America. It doesn't even go to Toronto or London or something like that. No. Saudi Arabia. 2027. A 2-night event, no doubt, will be in Saudi Arabia. And everybody picked up on it. Sports Illustrated picked up on the story. The news began to make the rounds on social media Wednesday afternoon after Saudi Arabian advisor Turki Al-Sheikh made the announcement during a live Snapchat video. And the rough translation of his comments, WrestleMania has been announced for the first time outside of America. WrestleMania in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, 2027. Mike Johnson, a PW Insider, has confirmed the announcement's authenticity. There was a press release that was issued in Arabic earlier in the day, then was pulled shortly and after being sent out. WWE itself has yet to confirm the location for WrestleMania 43, but although it's an event the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has long been after, there were previous rumblings that would do a WrestleMania-style event in Saudi Arabia, but it looks like they're going to let it go in Saudi Arabia. TKO Group Holdings, not worried about that. Sean Ross Sapp, Fightful Select, reaching out to the company, has not heard back in official capacity. One higher-up did get to him about the report and said, where there's smoke, there's fire. And the official announcement could come as soon as this Friday when TKO promotes the Terrence Crawford-Canelo Alvarez fight on Netflix being sponsored by Riyadh Season. So you're getting the move from TKO Group Holdings that they moved out of New Orleans for next year, taking WrestleMania 42 to Las Vegas for 2 nights once again. And now, highest bidder, they're going to take it to Saudi Arabia. So they're not going to be worried about how much money they can make on tickets for Las Vegas or somewhere else after next year. Because Saudi Arabia could just put down $50 million or $100 million, whatever they want, for the event. They don't care about how much the Saudi Arabians are paying for it. The Crown Princes are flipping the bill. They got the tab. It's one thing to get money from Netflix and from Peacock and from ESPN, but that Saudi money, ooh, man, they love it. Tell you what. All right, we're going to leave it there, man. WrestleMania 43. Bim Sala Bim. Yalla Yalla MC. WrestleMania coming up. We can see that very well happen. So, enjoy that. But again, like I said, I'll be doing a post show right here to cover Worlds Collide Las Vegas. We'll figure it all out. It's on YouTube, so it'll be easy for me to go and catch. We'll talk about that. Probably do a show about it. And then we'll get things set up for next week for WrestlePalooza and All Out. Coming up with the next WrestlePalooza podcast, because wrestling needs us.